Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking Godzilla versus Kong, and obviously, Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve. Just a quick reminder to anyone that is tuning in as a returning subscriber, I am doing my Christmas Eve live stream tonight. It's a tradition here on the channel. I have a few drinks, we sit around, we chat for a good few hours, and then, you kind of go on your merry way. If you want to kind of set a reminder to that, I'll leave it linked either down below in the description box or in a pinned comment. One of the two, but please do check it out. Please do join. It is tonight around 8 PM GMT. Now, I will say straight from the off, as you can probably tell, I am quite sick, so excuse the weird faces that I pull as I go through and discuss this news. But we're talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I am on We Got This Covered, a renowned nonsense website, okay? They're not very, very good for most things, and I will say this, I don't believe they have sources, but I do potentially believe that Godzilla vs. Kong has gone for some reshoots. I don't think that's a surprise by any stretch of the imagination. Now, let's take a look at it, right? Let's take a look at what they say. Because again, they're a renowned nonsense website. Okay, it says, Godzilla vs. Kong reportedly set for heavy reshoots after poor test screening. Now, both myself and D-Man, and even the likes of Beyond the Trailer, have sources who would have been able to have corroborated this. Now, I've not heard anything from D-Man. He's not stated that there is any test screenings. I don't believe Beyond the Trailer has done any reports on this either. And myself, I know nothing about any test screening. Normally when test screenings happen, it becomes pretty apparent. Especially if there's been a poor test screening, because that normally makes people break the NDAs that they have signed. If you don't believe me, I'm surprised that you don't believe me, because quite frankly, there's so many leaks that pop out left, right, and centre these days for films. It's very apparent that these things do happen. The Predator was a hugely renowned one. Now, they state, okay, out of all the cinematic universes that popped up after the MCU proved so successful, Legendary's Monsterverse seemed to be one of the more promising ones. Blah, 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 blah. Basically just giving a rundown to fill out their article, because this is exactly what We Got This Covered does. None of this is news. Literally none of this is the news. The news is this last little bit here. And this is what they do. It's the same article format on every single article they do. They do a rundown of the previous history of whatever they're talking about. They then go on to say, according to sources close to us, the same ones that provided this news, we now have this. It's the exact same format, every single article. So they state that test screenings for Godzilla vs. Kong haven't been great. Now that's implying that there's multiple test screenings. If there was test screenings for this film, there would have been a bit more noise about it. Genuinely would have been a bit more noise. Even for films that people like, right? Godzilla King of the Monsters had quite promising test screenings, and people wanted to talk about it. Okay, again, if you don't believe me, go and check out any of the test screening leaks, like last year. Well, I guess it was kind of this year as well, for Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was rampant. It was all over the place. Now it states, test screenings for Godzilla vs. Kong haven't been great, and what's more is that the project is now expected to head back in front of the cameras for what's said to be heavy reshoots beginning in January. It's unclear what exactly is being reshot, but from what we're told, the movie still needs a good amount of work. Now, I believe that they are reshooting stuff, right? They definitely are. They would have moved the movie for a few reasons, okay? So it's been moved to November, Thanksgiving weekend next year. It would have been going up against Disney's Mulan, however you pronounce it, which would have been somewhat detrimental to the film's box office. Now, with respect to this move, they would have moved it for several reasons. One, a business structure, because of course, why would you go up against a Disney property if you can find a free space further down the line? You do that, obviously. That's just common sense. Secondly, I do believe that they've gone for some reshoots. I don't believe it's going to be heavy reshoots, though, because time simply won't allow it. They've cut a trailer together. We know that, because a trailer description leaked not too long ago, outside of some Russian cinema expo, I think it was. And that trailer description has further been corroborated by the leak at CCXP Expo, which had, I think it was CCXP, another expo basically. It was a Brazilian one. Now, that was corroborated there because the final shot of the trailer description was what was included in like a show reel for Warner Brothers at this Brazilian expo of some description. So it's been corroborated. They've already got a trailer together, right? And trailers can be cut together quite quickly, of course. And they do have a complete film, so to speak. So they can cut a trailer together. However, I don't think they're going to be changing too much because they physically can't. Like, these films are big productions. You think about logistics of these things, right? It's a lot of people to get together. It's a lot of people to get together. It's not only that, it's interacting with objects which are not there, so non-tangible objects, i.e. the monsters. That's difficult to get redone as well. And if they're looking to change too much of the special effects work, that takes a long time. It takes a long time, because these movies are SFX heavy, right? So I believe they've gone for reshoots. I don't think it's not rocket science, is it? It's not news that they will be reshooting the film. And I do think that Warner Brothers is worried about this. Because, of course, Warner Brothers had that very strange knee-jerk reaction to literally any image of Godzilla and Kong on the boat, the trailer basically that came out of the Brazilian expo. They were doing copyright claims. I interacted with Warner Brothers and I said, look, what are you doing? You can't do this. It's fair use. And they said, even if you include a thumbnail, we'll strike your channel. And they did. They struck my channel for a video, which is unusual. Copyright claims are not unusual. That's fine. But copyright strikes are quite unusual, to be honest. They tend to do it as a knee-jerk reaction out of concern. And I do think that they are worried, and I do think they are going back for reshoots. But I don't think it's going to be heavy. Mainly because I don't think time allows it. And again, I think anyone with half a sense will sort of be able to kind of figure that out. I mean, yes, it's a long time. But some of the post-production on SFX heavy films is months. And as well, to kind of further compound this with some more evidence, if we take a look at the likes of Godzilla King of the Monsters, they were working on the special effects right up until the release of the film. We knew that because we could see with each and every single trailer the special effects were improving, they were getting better, they were subtly tweaked. They're not going to want to reshoot the whole film, or 50% of the film, to then have to go back and redo a lot of the monster work. It's just simply not plausible. So again, I do repeat that I don't like We Got This Covered. I think that they are nonsense. I mean, look, literally just a peruse of their website will show you that they are not a reputable source, right? Oh, what's this? Sorry, there's some news about Tom Hiddleston being replaced as Loki, is there? Okay, here you go. What? Alright then. Their exclusives and things like that are just made up fabrications. They really are. They're made up fabrications of obvious things. Literally obvious things. Now, I wouldn't say Deadline, Deadline's fairly reputable. Fairly reputable, to be perfectly honest. And like I say, they were the ones which broke the news. I'm fairly certain it was them that broke the news anyway, that Godzilla vs. Kong was being moved. I definitely think it's going for some reshoots, but I don't think it's heavy reshoots. And I'm not saying don't be concerned either, because I know a lot of people will accuse me of being biased, positively biased towards the film. No, I definitely think that they are worried. I've said it in a previous video. I definitely think that they are worried. And it's not to be overly negative either. I still think this movie will be good. There's my positive bias coming out. But I do think that they are concerned. And I think it's concerned because of the response that King of the Monsters got. I think that they want to ensure the future of this franchise for themselves. So anyway, there you go. There's the news. There's my quick rundown and thoughts. I don't think there'll be any other videos today outside of the Christmas Eve live stream tonight. If you're unable to make it, that will actually be tomorrow. Tomorrow's video. I will release it again because they're pre-recorded, right? They record and then they just sit there. I will release it tomorrow on the channel for Christmas. So if anyone is alone at Christmas, then they can at least kind of watch that for a good few hours and have a bit of company. I know it sounds a little bit off and, you know, a little bit, oh, woe is me and things like that. But people are alone on Christmas and, you know, they don't deserve to be. So hopefully that will entertain you all. And yeah, anyway, that's all I've got to say on this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Quick reminder, there is Pickled Snoke merch. If you know anything about that, check it out down below. I'll leave it linked down below. Check it out. There should also just be underneath the video Pickled Snoke merch as well. So please do check it out. It's available for a very limited time. It's one of the best designs I think me and my graphic designer have ever come up with. I'm really, really proud of that design. So grab it whilst you can because it will be gone. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like and a share. As always, I've been Mr. H. Take care.